18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, of course, Paula Camp back with us with Healthy Kids Chaves County. And then also joining us in studio this morning, your food service, I guess be food service director. Is that the official titles here for both Dexter and Roswell? Kim Meeks with Roswell and Shelley Montgomery with Dexter Schools. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you all doing today?
Very good.
It's not hot yet.
Not hot yet. Well, and now we're kind of we settled in. There's like that little 20% chance of rain, 99 every day. That's kind of where we're at for right now. So.
Right.
But I imagine you ladies are getting busy here, gearing up for back to school here. I don't know. Do you guys have any kind of break during the summer, or is it pretty much all work planning for the next year kind of thing?
Correct. Year round. With summer lunch going on, we started planning next year already before school was out last year. So we just continue on getting menus ready and all that kind of stuff. So never ends.
Probably little less cooking. I mean, you cook for the summer stuff and all that, but that's probably not the volumes it would be during the school year. So
right.
Maybe a little less hotter in the kitchens.
More sack lunches.
There you go. It's like a lot of fruit, a lot of cold things.
Right.
But I guess before we talk school stuff, do you want to talk with the events next week, or where do you want to?
Oh, sure. I'm glad to. Healthy Kids Chaves County, along with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell campus, we're sponsoring a Splash and Dash.
Yes.
Which is July 29th.
Mm-hmm. Next Saturday.
Yes, a week from tomorrow. The kids will have a swim, and then they will have a run.
Yeah, and it's by age group.
It is by age group. We have 10 and under, 11 to 14, and 15 and older, and then an adult run. Mm-hmm. And they'll be starting...
The once-wasers, I believe, is the official term there.
Yeah, once was with W's. Yeah, that's where I would fall.
Yeah.
So we're going to start at 8 a.m. with the 10 and under, and then it'll be every 30 minutes. After that, at 9, we'll do the 15 and older and the once was.
Yeah, and it's on age group, and they're not doing full marathons and things like the younger ones. They'll do a short swim and a run.
Right.
As they get a little older, they do like a run, swim, run, and I think the adult version's a run, swim, but they're not full marathons.
No.
It's just the training and kind of introducing them to the sport, basically.
Right, and Perry Tolles is organizing this.
There's a biathlon and what's the other one? Pentathlon. I think the other one. He does. Yeah.
And the 10 and under is a 25-yard swim and a 500-meter run.
Mm-hmm.
The 11 to 14 is 50-yard swim and a 1K run. And the 15 and older is a 1K run and a 50-yard swim and then a 500-meter run. So they do 3 different things, as does the once was.
And the cost is very, I think it's like $5
It's
something.
$5 for the under up to 15 and older, and then the once was is $15.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And they will give awards up through 5 places.
Nice.
Yes. So we'll be out there welcoming people, and there's a link. You can go on our Facebook, on Healthy Kids Chaves County Facebook, and we have a link where you can sign up if you haven't already.
Yeah.
We'd love to have as many kids out there and adults as we possibly can.
Absolutely. You can also, if you have questions, want more information, you can contact Kim over at the ENMUR pool there, 575-624-7305. She can answer questions for you. Also, if you have some free time tomorrow, Perry's going to be doing like lessons for this beginning at 10. They do their open swim, or not open swim, the lap swimming is open from 10 to 11 every day out there, and then they open for open swim at the pool there right after. But last Saturday and this Saturday at 10 a.m., he's doing like a little swimming training. So if you want to swimming lessons to the triathlon training, that transition from swimming to running, and he's helping kids train for that stuff. So I believe it's free too. So if you want, come on out this Saturday, tomorrow. At 10 a.m. out to the ENMUR pool there.
And it's the outdoor pool.
Yeah, the outdoor pool.
The outdoor pool.
And Perry will sit there and work with the kids there for an hour or two tomorrow.
Exactly.
And then, of course, come on out next Saturday for the Splash and Dash.
Yes, we're excited about it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. And like I said, go to the Healthy Kids Chaves County Facebook page to find a link to register. And if you want to talk to someone live and ask more specific questions, reach out to Kim over at the ENMUR pool. Again, that's 575-624-7305. So
thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. And go back and check out our interview we had with Perry Tolles, because I kind of talked with him a little bit about like training for these things and kind of the work that he's put in over the years doing this stuff. And so if you kind of want to learn a little bit more about Perry, check out our interview with him in our section there online and all that stuff. So, but you guys have got some stuff to announce too for the food side here. This is where with kids going back to school here, there's some great news updates and things we want to kind of get put on families' radars here for all of Chaves County. Really, I know we have Roswell Dexter here, but this kind of applies for all of Chaves County here. Talk about some of the changes that's going on and some of the things that the parents are going to like hearing here, I think.
Well, I think one of the things that Kim and I are here to announce, Dexter is completely CEP this year, and that's Community Eligibility Provision.
Gotcha.
And what that means is that every student attending school will get free breakfast and free lunch the entire year.
That is great.
So parents don't have to worry about that this year.
So any child in the Dexter school system that wants breakfast or lunch, they walk in the cafeteria, here you go, here's your lunch or here's your breakfast.
And that's the same for Roswell.
And as Kim is saying here, that is also the case for the Roswell Independent School District. So every single school facility that serves meals and things here in the district will, kids walk in, free meals, breakfast, lunch during meal times this school year, which is, I imagine, going to be a godsend for a lot of parents here in our community. So
yes, it is.
Exactly. That's our aim. Excuse me. To help out the families, especially during what's been going on these past couple of years, and CEP certainly helps us to be able to feed as many kids as we possibly can.
And plus, it probably saves a lot of red tape for you guys. Because I imagine, to qualify before, the kids had to go through this process of applications and the parents, really. But and now all that's gone. It's like, you want a sandwich? Here's a sandwich. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's the way it should be.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It has helped everybody, and it cuts our red tape. I mean, those applications were a nightmare.
Yeah.
Hours and hours processing through all that stuff.
When you guys could be really at work planning menus, getting food, there's so much more important work to be done rather than find out if someone qualifies to get a free sandwich or not. You know what I mean? It's like
let's just feed kids.
Right.
That's what
we're in America. We have food.
Exactly.
We're here to educate kids, and if they need food to do that, then let's get them to do that.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we do. And what I also love about that is now you know that your child's going to get 2 healthy meals every day. Because everything, obviously, you guys meticulously go through the menus and make sure that every meal is healthy while balancing at the same time stuff that kids actually want to eat. That's the other, because healthy food and food that kids want to eat aren't always in the same sentence.
Well, that's true.
That is so correct. Well, and they also have to adhere to federal regulations.
Sure.
They have pages and pages.
I would imagine it gets in the weeds.
People do not understand that are there, that they have to follow.
Just like what sodium contents or this content, that
or
kind
how
of thing.
Many
grams of this or whatever.
Dark green, how many light green, how many orange, how many red when it comes to vegetables.
Sure.
Yeah, and calorie minimums and calorie maximums.
Which I imagine is a nightmare for you guys, but at the end of the day, it really does ensure that you guys put out these healthy meals for these kids every single day. So, at the one part, you're like, man, it feels overkill on my measurings and everything here. But, attention to detail ensures that a good product is going to our children every day.
That's exactly right. And, we take training all year long, learning all of these things and recipes and all of that stuff. And our staffs all take training as well so that they can make the freshest, most desirable food that we possibly can with those regulations.
I got a question for you guys, for you two particularly. Can you guys go home and cook just like 1 egg? Is that possible? Or do you have to cook like... Sorry, I need to cook 30 before I know what I'm doing. I was just curious. I was like, being a service worker, you're used to cooking for hundreds, thousands of people a day. I just want an egg and toast. Is that easy? Or is that
get out the sheet pan, line up all the bread.
Every meal, it's like, it's just 2 of us eating. Why is there enough food for 50 people here?
Exactly.
Another thing to mention, not only do they have the federal regs that they have to follow, with COVID, they have had shortness of supplies.
Yeah.
Food chain supply.
Yeah, I imagine you guys had to get creative because
talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we've had some stuff. So when we order our commodities, we order commodity products the year before. So last February, we ordered for this school year.
Gotcha.
And so I can give you an example from my district. is last year the students decided there was one thing that they didn't like. So I called the food broker, and it happened to be a pork product. And I said, is there anything I can do? The kids, are tired. We want to change that product. And they said, yes. Would you like some pork chops? And so I said, yes, I'll take pork chops. And so we got pork chops. The kids were fine with that. It was something a little different. And so
sometimes you stumble into something better. You know what I mean? There's
And so I decided, I would order pork chops for this year. And last month, even in June, the food broker called and she said, the way manufacturing is going right now, they're not going to make the pork chops.
Lovely.
So I'm not getting the pork chops, and we had to pick from some other stuff. But that's probably more weekly for her than for me because she orders more food.
I would imagine because, like you said, the numbers you serve there, Dexter, you're
small.
You're able to be a little bit more flexible there. Where at Roswell, it's too many moving parts to really make that feasible here.
Correct.
But I would imagine at the same time too. Do you guys, and I imagine with Hagerman and everything else too, do you guys work each other with food districts on not? But just looking for those kind of resources and things, and being not necessarily sharing food with each other, but saying, "Hey, I'm having trouble getting X. Are you having any luck here doing it?" Or do you all go to the same places? I don't even know if it's the.
Well, it is all the same places because we're pretty limited, especially in this part of the state.
Sure.
But, it's the same food brokers. We all talk to the same food brokers. We all, the same delivery people and all that. So we all get the same information, but of course, us food service directors work together.
Sure, and this is where some of the gap here could be fixed a little bit. And this is, I know the schools in the state are talking and working a lot of this stuff is doing more farm to table type stuff.
Yes.
In our schools here, utilizing our local resources to get those into the schools, using our Graves Farm and our local farmers and producers here. Probably dairy as well too, saying let's get their product in our schools and things because the supply chain's not nearly as an issue on some of this stuff. So
exactly.
We're in some ways we're seeing some good come out of this because I think that's going to be one of those where now we can't get our box of food from wherever we get it right now. We still got kids that got to eat. Oh,
right.
Graves Farms up the street. We can whip something up with this here, and that's kind of what you guys are turning to now on some to fill some of these gaps, right?
Well, exactly, and that's where New Mexico Grown comes in because the state has afforded us a little extra money that we can. The rule is you have to purchase New Mexico Grown.
Good.
So there's some options there. Dexter is almost exclusively. From Graves Farms and Garden.
That's great.
And we really appreciate them. Kim can order more stuff because the farther away from your district that you order, the more cases they want to bring. So
because you order more food,
yes,
you have other resources that Dexter doesn't necessarily have because you don't need the kind of quantities that Roswell does. Gotcha. Yes. Makes sense.
And we're also hoping they're trying to get the beef, New Mexico grown beef.
Okay.
Into this system also. So we're hoping that passes and they can give us a list of
So talk to your legislators, support New Mexico grown stuff. Tell them to send this because
that's correct.
This is all for our kids. And to be honest, it's a win-win for everybody.
And to support our ranchers and farmers.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
It's helping them.
Yes.
It's helping our kids. And let's face it, I'm going to just take a guess. The local stuff's going to be a better quality than what you get shipped in from boxes from a truck somewhere. It's just.
Kim, how much money did RISD get for New Mexico Grown?
$42,000 this year.
That's great.
So that money is to be spent on New Mexico Grown fruits and vegetables only. So you buy from?
I buy from Graves, and then Nichols we get apples from in the fall, and then M.A. Sons chilies. And then El Charro, we get
great.
Some tortillas.
You don't realize a lot of people eat El Charro and don't even realize it. They make a lot of tortillas out of that place.
And Shelley, what about Dexter?
We mostly use Graves Farms. They're in our back door.
Sure.
I just call Buzz, and in fact, I've already called him this week, and we've set up our delivery date. And
how great is that?
And his staff faxes over what's available that particular week, and we make our order and we're good to go. So.
And how much money did the legislature give Dexter?
Well, the first time around, they came back and gave us a little more. So the first time around, it was about $6,000. So they said, no, we have some more money. They give us a little more and boosted us up to $8,000.
That's great.
So
And
it's really good.
Hagerman received money also. They'll get around $6,000, I think.
I think so too.
Yes.
If you don't, and I know this might be making you dig into data stuff, but just ballparking. When we talk the dollar amounts and things, like I'm trying to wrap my head around, like when you get $6,000, like how far does that go for you? I mean, is that a long? You know what I mean? It's like, because we talk money, but at the end of the day, I have no idea how much it costs to feed a school. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So in perspective, how much work can you do with that $6,000?
Well, for us, that's about right, because that's about what we can spend in the growing season.
Got you. Okay.
So I would be worried if I went too much higher than that, because growing season ends pretty quickly after school starts.
So you end up with stuff that you can't use.
Well, we would end up with money, which, if we had money left over, then our legislatures would think, oh, they're not going to use the money. We're not going to give it to them anymore.
Gotcha.
So we're real careful in our planning that we plan and ask for enough that will cover
and
what we
overkill
can
basically,
get.
so you have reserves. But I guess maybe the question is like, and I know this varies in things, but like to do a lunch at a given day in Dexter schools or RASD, what is there a number out there, a ballpark of what that would cost the district, or do we know that or does that require more digging and deep research?
I'm sure most days lunch will cost us close to $3.50 a meal, $4 a meal, and then some days it'll go.
I'm just trying to kind of get an idea of like how far these dollars go and things like that.
How many kids do you feed a day, Kim?
We feed about 7,800.
So times $4
times
a
$4.
kid,
Yeah.
So
You're
that kind of gives you
talking a lot of
so
money.
it's very expensive. I'm just kind of curious to see, because like you said, it's great, but we need them to step up more this direction, I think, too. Yeah, 27,300. I got a bunch of room full of teachers. Yeah.
Right. And with the regulations, there's stuff. You have to take a fruit or a vegetable on that tray or it's not reimbursable.
Gotcha.
So we have to serve those things. And so that's where the cost comes in.
Gotcha. I was just kind of curious about that because I know we talk dollars. I'm like, but is that enough is what I mean.
Yeah, it's never enough.
Yeah.
And see, right now, we can't get canned fruit in.
Yeah.
It's
just supply and demand doesn't, it's not available.
Not available.
They might have the fruit, but they don't have the cans.
Oh my God.
So if you got your own container, you can get it.
Exactly.
I brought my own basket. Can I just throw it in there?
Exactly.
And now,
so save your cans. You might need them again to fill them back up with fruit.
The same with fruit juice, because now the rumor they're telling us is there's no glue to glue the boxes together.
Wow.
So it
is so weird this world we live in right now, isn't it?
It is. And I really think it's important that people understand how hard these women work.
Oh, absolutely.
And what a fabulous job they do. Considering, all of the things that they have to deal with. It's unbelievable on a daily basis.
I imagine they're making lemonade out of lemons every single day. Here,
every day.
Literally
every
and
day.
figuratively here. But that's
we have great staff.
We sure do. We
couldn't do it without our staff.
Yeah.
And they got to be dedicated, because we live in a world where you can get a job anywhere you want to and things. So to have people that have been staying there, working there, that's a testament to the it's a great place to work, but they love what they do and they love the people they serve and they love those that
it's all about the babies.
In charge too. I'm taking it. So yeah.
And and it's great that, and I know Paula is always full of compliments for us, but there's parts of our jobs that would be so much harder if it weren't for her and Becky.
That's
because
exactly right.
We want to get the money from the New Mexico grown, but they tie other things with it.
Sure.
It's not, there's strings attached to that money.
There always is.
And so there's things that we have to do that sometimes we wouldn't maybe have time or the resources or
healthy
the
kids
education piece.
Can feel that.
And they are on it.
Yeah.
And they are phenomenal.
Yes.
And really, and to be honest, that's kind of how it should be. Because
it is.
Because
we
at the end of the day,
work together.
Well, and at the end of the day, you guys have enough on your plate making sure every child's fed in your school district. That's enough. That's all you need to do. That's you know what at the end of the day, that's enough for you to work on.
Right.
And so for them to say, okay, oh, by the way, when you're done doing that, you got to create an education program and a healthy physical activity thing to go with that.
Exactly.
And when you're done,
posters,
12 hours a day making all that food.
Yes, you've got to have all kinds of
posters
things.
in every school.
So,
yes,
and so-
thank you.
And
And
so
so-
the healthy kids can come in and take care
Yep.
of that side and
Right.
partner together. And at the same time, promote it, make it an event that someone other than two people would want to be a part of,
Well, yes, and the part of the reason for the New Mexico Grown is that the legislatures and the state and us as well want our kids to know that the food don't just come from Walmart.
Yeah.
Right, it
and gives them a
doesn't,
little taste of how
Sure.
you grow it
Farm
and
to
where
table,
it comes
that-
from
that-
and
Yes.
what you have to do to get it there. And so that's why we have all of these activities. Paula's made a little list of some of the
things
things
that we
we're going to do.
Right. During our New Mexico Grown, we want to highlight New Mexico Grown produce. So we're going to do different activities in Roswell, Dexter, Hagerman, and Lake Arthur.
Okay.
Just for some examples, we'll do some tastings in the cafeteria by the salad bar in
Okay.
Roswell. At Shelley School, we're going to do like a watermelon eating contest.
Oh,
we're going to
cool.
have a corn shucking. And, it's different dynamics in those districts. In the smaller districts, you can do more, like with a watermelon
Sure.
eating contest.
Less
or something
numbers you
like
can do
that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
at least we will be in the schools in September promoting the New Mexico Grown produce
Yeah.
in Roswell, and then we'll do some activities in Hagerman and Lake Arthur. We try to, Shelley's given out recipes. I know in years past we'll have coloring contests, poster contests, to try to help the kids understand what we're doing. And fortunately, in Roswell, we have school gardens in several of our schools.
Yeah.
And Pecos Elementary with Dr. Ryan, and we do, she always has carrot. They come back forever. If you plant carrots, they will come.
Throw some water on them once in a while. They're like
Yeah.
rabbits that eat them.
So we harvest them and take them to Kim, and we take them to Goddard, and they cook them, and then they serve them in the cafeteria
Awesome.
for the kids. And so we do that with beets also from there. And then at Nancy Lopez, Kim Cavan in the past, and Stephanie Rivetta is doing it this year. They've grown lots of different things and then cook it in their classroom.
That's great.
They've made
Yes.
pesto and just a lot of different things with whatever they grew in the garden. Salsa, and then had chips and salsa because they had jalapenos and tomatoes and onions. So
That's
we
great
promote
to
the
see
school
this.
gardens, and we're going to work on school gardens in Dexter. We have one, the FFA teacher in Hagerman helps with the garden at Hagerman, and then there's a community garden in Lake Arthur that has really
That's
gone
great.
well this year.
I hope people embrace this more and these programs grow more and more in schools, because I think like all these supply chain, all those things we were talking about, those problems, this can put a huge dent in those problems.
Yes.
Like down.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think if this catches on and embraces to where these turn into not just making some salads for the classroom, but actually being a food source supply to the cafeterias and the schools. How great! I mean, I don't know. I would love to see a future like when you go to a high school and every high school's got their track and field and football stadium and all these amenities. Why isn't one of those amenities a big greenhouse?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Why can't we put one of those on every campus and have a farm and garden program in there, or official class that's teaching this stuff? And
And it may come to that,
And that comes
simply
out.
because of COVID and we can't get food.
yeah,
So a greenhouse is a year-round
yeah.
option, if you can have that.
I really hope that's a trend we go into. I hope they see that this need, and whether it's because we're forced to or whatever. I mean, it's usually because we're forced to, because that's how things change sometimes. But I hope people see the foresight and run with this more, where these New Mexico Grown and these programs, instead of you getting 6,000, you're getting hundreds of thousands, and we've got a giant greenhouse that holds probably thousands of dollars in produce that maybe, if not all, at least a good hunk can support the school of which it's being grown in.
Yes.
And fortunately, we have Graves Farms, and then you mentioned
Nichols.
Nichols. I'm sorry. They're at La Luz, I think, aren't they? Or something. Anyway. And Jeff Nybert is working at Twin Rivers Farms, and he's growing that. And hopefully, eventually, he will be able to be another supplier of locally grown. So, we are trying to branch out a little bit, but we're kind of, in this part of the country, we don't have that many farmers.
No,
Northern New Mexico really, they have an advantage because they have a longer growing season. Yeah. They have more farmers there.
They actually have seasons.
Sort of.
Like us. We got
more
hot,
than we do.
Hot, not hot. That's our two seasons.
Well, you're absolutely right.
And the thing is with the New Mexico grown farmers is we don't just get to say, oh, so-and-so down the road has, started a farm, and so we're just going to buy some of our stuff there. And that's not how it works. The farmers all have to go through a whole process and get on a list, and then the list is sent to us because they have to go through all these food safety.
I would say y'all go through red tape. You should see their red tape. You think ours is bad.
And we add to their red tape if they want to sell to us.
Yeah.
Right.
So they have hoops they have to jump through to.
Sure, so which is why you see less farmers, because both of them are probably washing their hands of this, and so I can make a living with much less headache. And
exactly.
And it's going to be a problem. It's already a problem. We live in a world where more people are coming on it and less people making the food to feed everybody.
Right.
It doesn't take a math wizard to figure out there's going to be a food problem here.
Exactly.
We got to get creative. So.
And I'm just thrilled with the New Mexico beef, because I think it's so important that we not only support our farmers, but we need to support our ranchers.
Absolutely.
That's livelihood in New Mexico.
Absolutely.
We need to support them.
Generations and generations of livelihood in New Mexico.
So it's very encouraging that we're trying to get that going as well.
It's once you kind of see the cycle and see how life works in these areas, it's an amazing thing. And then COVID's kind of really thrown a wrench in all that, so we've had to get a little creative on how to do this stuff. But I think, if we call the blessing in disguise here is it's putting on people's radar a need that really is an underlying need that hasn't been on the radar till something like COVID exposes it more. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I think COVID's exposing the bigger problems here. Yeah, we're dealing with these supply chain issues and things, but at the end of the day, it's really bringing to forefront the bigger issue is, how do we get all this food to people that need it in a healthy way and everything else? And we've got to keep advancing and understanding that and evolving to different ways. And I got to be honest, I think it's going to go into that direction of where it's all little bubbles, self-sufficient little bubbles of each school can support or at least cover a big enough where it's not such a big kill to try to get things from outside of the area where they can, offshoot. I know we're a long way off from that, but I think, who knows, maybe our kids will be running the show and their schools will have greenhouses and who knows, maybe even a little farm or a little ranch off the side with some pigs, and who knows? I mean,
who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, who knows how this goes? But I think, and it's also good for the education side because, like you said earlier, we need to let the kids know that milk doesn't come from the grocery store. It comes from a cow with a farm and the ranch and in the dairy and all that.
And, we have FFA in our high schools, which is fabulous because the FFA in Hagerman, Dexter, and in past in Roswell has been so supportive of healthy kids and the programs we do and going in the schools and teaching them about nutrition and teaching them about, rethink your drink and all these different things, as well as Chaves County Extension Office. Tamara Schubert and Amy Steen are excellent to go in the schools, do tastings with the lower grades. The schools that are willing to have them, they will go.
Yeah, they do a great job over at the Extension Office, and we have them on every month, too. And by the way, next week's Chaves County and Eddy County fairs. So
yes, it is.
So if you need to talk to them next week, you might want to just head out to the fairgrounds.
Head out to the fair.
It's all hands on deck.
I'm judging today.
Are you?
Yes.
What are you judging?
Food.
What do you get? Oh, I've done that. Have you not eaten or anything today?
I haven't, so we're good to go.
Have you done this before?
I did at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
It's fun. But yeah, because I got asked years ago when I was doing the morning show in Artesia to judge their cookies and cakes and stuff for the Eddy County Fair, And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm in. Oh, pull my arm here. You need me delicious foods? Yeah, okay, rough. I'll sacrifice.
But it's a lot.
Oh, my God. I got in there, and the first round, and there's like bread or something like, these are good. And I'm like, I start eating them all,
You got to taste.
Big mistake. Big mistake. After several rounds of that, and you're like, all right. Now we're like, now we're up to the cookies. I'm like, oh, my goodness, no more cookies. And after a while, you're just like,
and take little
that's
bites.
because you're eating so much food, it's tasty. But after a while, you're like, there is a thing as too much of a good thing, and unfortunately, judges hit that wall sometimes in some of these.
I'm looking forward to it, though. It's fun to work with the kids, and definitely go out and support. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, support the fair, support these kids out there next week.
They work so hard on their animals, on their food, on so many things. You need to go out and see what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And support these kids. Come out to the livestock shows and
absolutely,
because that's even if you don't know a thing about farm and ranch, I'm one of those people. I grew up in Maryland, D.C. I'm a city boy. A cow is like, ooh, that's all them out in the field. Touch when I got poop on it, I'm done. But anyway, that's me. But I go out there and I'll watch these kids, and there's some kids that if they're 3 foot tall, it's because they're on their tippy toes.
Yep.
And they're wrangling and just handling this 800-pound heifer. And they do it with authority, and it's cool to watch. It's just cool to see these. And I'm not gonna lie, pig wrangling is I don't know why there's not 50 YouTube TikTok videos of pig wrangling because I don't care how good of it you are, it's still a goofy show because it's literally 20 kids with boards running around trying to make pigs go in the same direction, and none of them are going in that direction. It's just funny to watch.
And all the teachers out there are saying, I know exactly how they feel.
That sounds like class next week.
Right.
Yeah. So go out to the fair here, and of course next Saturday night, I believe, is their big junior livestock auction out there.
That's interesting.
That's the big crescendo where these kids get rewarded for all their hard work.
Yes.
Because depending on the age of the child, if they're older, that's college money. If they're a little younger, that's money for their next year's project. And I'm not going to lie, they get ridiculous with some of those bid numbers out there, but it's all for the kids.
Yeah.
So get out there and bid early, bid often, and I know they can combine up. So because most of us don't have $30,000 to just drop on a pig.
Not usually.
Or a chicken.
But you might have 30 friends that can chip in $1,000 to buy a pig. You know what I mean?
Go. There you go.
So that's kind of how they do it. But get out there and support the fair. And then, of course, get out next Saturday to the Splash and Dash too. Bring the family out, bring the kids out for that. If anybody has any questions about anything we talked about in either the RISD or the Dexter about the food stuff, or if they have any questions about anything here, what's the best place to steer them right now? Just to the
student nutrition department.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. At the respective Dexter and RISD here. Yeah. So are there people in the offices regular now, or are they? I know during the summer it gets a little skeletal in some of these buildings.
Yeah, we're back and ready to go.
We're there.
Since school starts.
Well, I know my wife's been in
quick.
class already, setting up classrooms and everything else. She's there too. So,
yeah.
Is there any information we missed or skipped or didn't get a chance to talk about?
I don't think so.
I think we covered what we
Good
needed.
deal.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for keeping our kids fed and doing amazing work each and every school year with these kids. And just the reason you see all these great programs and things in Roswell and in Dexter, it's because of these two women and their staff.
Correct.
And everybody that makes that happen.
You.
So thank you very much for doing all of that, because like you said, I'm sure because I'm sure you see the thing where you get the parents with the hair on fire. Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? And then you go, calm down, I got you covered. There you go. I'm sure you guys get that a lot. Where you got Mama Bear who's frazzled because her kid, and you, all right, we're gonna take care of the kid. Just relax, fix your hair, we'll be all right.
This year, everybody's taken care of.
Good deal.
Yep.
Well, thank you, ladies. We'll see you next time here.
Thank you.
Well, maybe we will. I know now the school's starting. You might not be able to let out of the buildings anymore enough until.
But I'll be back.
She'll be back. Thank you, guys. All right, it is 9:53. Quick news update and quick break before we go.